It is now time for my top 5 most intriguing games of Week 13.
High five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Rich's Top 5.
All right, here we go. Number 5 on the list. They have lost, it feels like 2 in a row, right? Doesn't it feel like? But they didn't. They seemed like it was in doubt, as we all recall, 2 games ago for them, and then they dropped one on Thanksgiving. How will the Detroit Lions look? Because it feels like it's trending in the wrong direction. And then the New Orleans Saints come off their bye and lose in Atlanta, and now they're at 5-6, looking at Atlanta in first place, and Atlanta's at New York taking on Tim Boyle and the Jets. And you can open all the windows for Aaron Rodgers all you want. I don't believe it's going to change much of the air in MetLife at present. So the Saints need this one. And boy, would they love to just show the Lions the door here, get to 500, and then put the Lions, I think, in, I mean, it's not panic button mode. You're still 8-4. The Bears did them a favor by beating the Vikings. Yeah. That would be a 2-game lead over Minnesota. So, you know, the Lions would still be hosting a playoff game. And the way things are working in the NFC South, the Lions probably wouldn't fall further than the 3 seed in the playoffs. And would avoid everybody's looking at, you don't want to be playing the Dallas Cowboys in the first week of the season if that's the team that's going to be losing the NFC East, and I'm sure the Cowboys have a lot to say over that over the next 2 weeks. Lots of moving parts is what I'm saying, and if the Lions want to ensure that any slip-ups by them means they don't go further down the pecking order than 3, it would be winning this game, sending the Saints to 5-7, and ending all the conversation. That's a lot of fascinating developments in the 5th game on my top 5 most intriguing matchups of Week 13 list. Number 4 is the Sunday night game. Green Bay beat the Lions. Green Bay beat the Chargers. Is Green Bay on a heater right now? Are they on a heater? And can they get to 500 and place themselves in a playoff spot after 13 weeks? In a playoff spot position. They can do that. It's entirely possible. And can they beat the Chiefs? That would be a way for them to really put the card on the table and saying Jordan Love is all that. Yeah. We do have a shot at the playoffs this year. We just beat the Chiefs. And then, you know, Kansas City is feeling good after that win last week in Vegas. They actually scored 2 touchdowns after halftime. That's going to be interesting. Or do the Chiefs just put the Packers in their spot? And then, of course, the most intriguing aspect of this is, where are the Mahomes sitting? Because when Love got his first start of his career in Arrowhead, they put his family basically, you know, what would you say, in South Dakota watching the game? Last row of the stadium? Where's Brittany? Where's Brittany and the Mahomes family? Yeah. You know what I mean? All right. Number 3 on this list. Can the Broncos keep winning football games? Can the Houston Texans bounce back from that loss at home to Jacksonville? Can they get to 7 wins first? Or can the Broncos go from 1-4 to 6-5? Can this really happen?
The best thing about us, though, is it's about us.
The winner goes to 7-5. The loser goes to 6-6. And the winner has the tie-break advantage in their back pocket for these 2 teams that might be vying for a 7 spot, a 6 spot, and you never know.
Yeah, Rich, the Broncos were 1-5.
They were 1-5. Pardon me. That's right. They were 1-5.
Yeah, after losing to the Chiefs on Thursday night.
My bad. Excuse me. And they've won 5 in a row, including a win over the Chiefs.
Yep.
Let's see it. Russ v. Stroud. So much fun.
Let's go.
Number 2 is tonight's game. Seahawks and Cowboys. I unpacked it earlier to lead off the show. The Cowboys have beaten only one team above 500 this year. Only one team was in front of them with an above 500 record this year.
It was on the schedule, man.
And it was the, at the time, 1-0 New York Jets. That's it.
That's so sad.
So, but that still wouldn't remove the narrative of have the Cowboys really beaten anybody this year because of the way the Seahawks have been playing lately, and that's not fair to the Seahawks. It's not fair to the Cowboys. It really is all about next week, and I don't think Dallas is looking past Seattle towards Philadelphia coming into their house. But this is a big game, certainly with Seattle having to go to San Francisco next and then host Philadelphia after this game. coming off of the loss on Thanksgiving night at home decisively to the 49ers. This is it. Seattle needs to win it. Dallas could use to win it if they want to have a shot at the 1 seed and certainly their division. It's on Prime Video tonight right here on Roku. Number one, we all know what it is. We've been circling it ever since it came out. You know, Debo talking about how if Purdy didn't get hurt, we'd have gone to the Super Bowl, and Hassan Reddick and the rest of them, you know, saying, okay. And then James Bradbury being trash right after the game, correct? Remember that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Here we go. And Greg Olson's about to join us on this program. It's the clear number one. I don't think we really need to lay too much out of other than the fact if the Niners don't want to get another trip to Philadelphia this year in their playoff futures, they should win this game. They're still 1 game behind Philadelphia. They'd still need help to catch them and erase that 3-game losing streak. That 3-game losing streak might be the issue in terms of avoiding a return trip to Philadelphia. Obviously, they could get some help and have somebody else knock off the Eagles before they see them. But that's at stake. And if Philadelphia can win this one, it'll be like, how many more times do they have to prove it to people? Greg Olson's coming up shortly on the Rich Eisen Show. Okay, sure.
All right, we'll get one.
I'll do it. In the same way that the Packers, are they on a heater? Are the Rams on a heater? You know? Can the Rams get to 6-6? And they've got the Browns coming into their house, and at present, it could be Joe Flacco, 2 weeks off the couch.
That's crazy.
In this game. And I bet you the Rams wouldn't overlook that because all Sean McVay has to say is, you remember we got a guy who won a Thursday night game for us last year 2 days after showing up here in Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, right.
Okay. And that guy, you know, Cooper Kupp, what did you do? You won a Super Bowl MVP, right? So did the guy who's starting for Cleveland. Honestly, I mean, there are ways to kind of snap the Rams into attention if they're overlooking Flacco here.
All true.
And the Browns could use it, man, because it's 7-5. Either the Broncos, who have beaten the Browns, or the Texans, who I do believe play the Browns coming up, right? Let me see this right here. Make sure I got all my ducks in a row. Yes, sir. They've got Cleveland coming to their house in Week 16. Either one of those two teams is going to be 7-5, just like the Browns would be with a loss. There's a lot of teams in the AFC that can come and snag a playoff spot from the current 6-seeded 7-4 Cleveland Browns. That's my one more matchup for most intriguing matchups of Week 13. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.